Orks are some of the toughest creatures in the galaxy. Now we've got the stats to prove it.
Here we go. Right lads, we's about to launch this. Wah! And I want all of the beakies and knifeies and oomies to know just why we're the biggest and the strongest. Yeah, it's cause we's orcs. But they don't know why green is the best. See, oi, oomies, tell all them gits why we's gonna crump 'em good.
Welcome back to Ere We Go, our regular feature looking at a host of new releases for Orks that are coming soon. We've seen extra speedy doctors and squig riding monster slayers over the past few weeks. Now it's time to give you the first look at the rules coming alongside these models. It's well known by now that orcs are mind-boggling, tough creatures, able to shrug off wounds that would turn a human into a fine mist and even threaten one of the angels of death. Until now, however, their appearance on the tabletop hasn't quite matched up to the kind of creatures that can survive a complete decapitation and come back for another go. That's all about to change in the upcoming Codex Orks. That's right, toughness 5. In fact, many varieties of orc throughout the codex are seeing an extra point of toughness added to their profile. Yes, even Gretchen. It looks like the greenskins are finally living up to the terrifying reputation they have for charging headlong into clouds of gunfire and coming hollering out the other side. Speaking of orc physiology, we mentioned during our previous look at the Beastnagger boys that they are a good bit bigger and stronger than their fellow boys, largely due to all the time they spend wrangling ferocious squig beasts. All that extra muscle is sure to give them an easier time hacking through some particularly tough monsters and vehicles, and perhaps a heavily armoured space marine or two. All the scar tissue and crude bionics an average Beastnagger accumulates over the course of their usually quite short life have their upsides too, as the chances of an incoming bullet or chainsword hitting something the orc needs to function are even lower than usual. Beastnagger. The gnarled bodies of Beastnaggers are especially hard to damage, any vulnerable parts having long since been coated in scar tissue or bionic repairments. Each time a model with this ability makes an attack that targets a vehicle or monster, add 1 to that attack's hit rolls. Every model in this unit has a 6+ invulnerable save. Both of these units carry their trusty orc choppers into battle, an electric variety of crude melee weapons that greenskins of all kinds enthusiastically split all manner of enemies in two with. Veteran players may remember these weapons being particularly effective at piercing thick armour, and the choppers are returning to form in the new codex. Chopper. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. Big Chopper. Huge Chopper. Who exactly will be carrying the huge chopper into battle, you ask? Well, you might remember a certain thickly armoured gentleman from Warhammer Fest Online having to hold his in both hands. Will you be forming a green tide of upgraded orc boys in your next army? Or will their Beastnagger kin be taking over and leading the Wah to victory? Let us know on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and join us next time as we return to the Snakebite clan to learn the truth behind one of their living legends.
And G the War Boss will be returning next time those oomies do another article for Ere We Go. So make sure you like this and subscribe and hit that little bell ting so you won't miss an episode of Here We Go. Whoa.